Thank you. I think I'm missing that. I'm looking for something.
evening, everyone. We're going to be starting in just a minute, so I invite you to come forward. Please fill in the seats that are available, and the rest of you please fill in so you can hear a little bit better. Don't be shy, those seats are waiting for you. Please do. There are seats. Please come on in. Fill in the seats. Okay, everybody, jump and pull. Seat. Please come on in. And do come on up. Tonight we gather because we love Maddie and we love his family. And I want you all just to realize you are surrounded here by people who've come because they love you. We are all, I think, in a bit of a state of shock and disbelief, most especially this family, who walked with Maddie through every step of this ordeal that she was on. They witnessed Maddie's strength and her resolve of spirit to make her body get well. Until that day when physical healing was no longer possible. And then, with tremendous courage, she accepted her mortality and told the ones she loved the most in the entire world that she could not stay here any longer. Her mortal body could not go on. So here we are. Maddie's life was too short. I think every single one of us wants to shout that at the top of our lungs. But the value and measure of a life are not defined by the number of years. Maddie's life will always be remembered. And her life and the relationships she treasured deserve to be celebrated. So this evening, we gathered to do that. Through the sharing of stories, through prayer, through silent reflection, through tears and laughter, as we remember this beautiful person who touched all of our lives, Madi Imada. And we gather to surround her family with our love, something I know Madi would want. The family has asked me to share this story of Madi, their precious baby girl who came into their lives 28 years ago. And I'm honored to do that. I had Madi as a student when she was at Iolani School when I served there as a chaplain. And I too have very fond memories of that beautiful girl. The family wrote, "It was a few minutes past 12 midnight on April 25th, 1995, when Madison Chieko Imada stared up at us with her beautiful sweet eyes. She was an active baby who crawled very little before walking, anxious to keep up with her older brother Kellen. She was always ready to take things on. He was the only one who could make her chuckle. As an infant and toddler, she enjoyed her playgroup playmates singing at circle time, playing on the playground, and creating crafts with Mom. When she started at Waiakeola Preschool, she did not cry at all and made friends easily. She also would often take charge in ordering her own food at restaurants, even though she could not read the menu. Maddie decided she wanted to attend the same school as her brother. So she attended and graduated from Iolani School in 2013, where she was a part of the Iolani dance team for 10 years. At one of their competition trips, the dance team performed on a stage at Disneyland. That was when, in her busy little mind, she decided she wanted to attend a college near Disneyland. And that she did. She majored in psychology at Chapman University, 10 minutes away from her favorite place in the world. She had an annual pass and took every opportunity to use it whenever her friends or family were in the area, or even when they just wanted to see the fireworks. Disney did for Maddie what Maddie did for us, brought happiness, joy, and wonder. She continued her studies at the University of San Francisco, where she earned a master's in marriage and family therapy. She was a gifted listener and naturally helped people around her let their guard down and feel safe and protected. While in the Bay Area, she met Tommy, the love of her life, and together they moved to LA. She joined the Foundation for Living Beauties, a nonprofit that serves women with cancer. She loved her job, the people she worked with, and how her organizational skills were so valued and appreciated. She especially loved being able to support herself and experience a sense of agency and independence. And she was so proud to tell her dad that she finally had her own medical insurance. It was at this time that Maddie started journaling, creating beautiful pages to express what was on her mind and in her heart. The boxes of carefully curated supplies that remained after she passed had been donated to the Living Beauty Foundation to be used for journaling workshops with their staff and members. This is something we know she would have loved, as she had always wanted to share her journaling with the world and had even created videos of her beautiful work to post on TikTok. For the 5 years that they were together, Maddie and Tommy were truly an amazing pair. They went on many adventures, some of which you can see in her scrapbook. When we go inside, you'll see the display. They enjoyed the national parks in the area, music festivals, traveling to Hawaii, as well as memorable moments at her favorite place, Disneyland. Their bond was evident, and together they brought with them joy and laughter wherever they went. Maddie was a quiet fighter, resilient, valiant, and strong. She maintained very close relationships with her family despite living away. Just like how she was ready to walk as a baby, she didn't shy away from challenges and took them on with her calm, strong confidence. She represented that love can overcome fear and that courage exists in the quiet and subtle acts. She was always in the present. TikTok time was separate from being with you fully. She was a principled person, soft-hearted about underserved people, cared deeply about the environment, and passionately loved and was forever loyal to her family and friends. She was loved by everyone who knew her for her honesty, sincerity, and subtle sense of humor, and she will continue to live in all our hearts. And now we will have some sharing by the family.
Thank you all for being here today to remember Maddie and celebrate her life. Joanne has asked me to share her message, her mom's message, but before I begin, I'd like to share my personal message in remembrance. I remember when Joanne and Neil found out that they were having Maddie, how ecstatic they were, because it has been a long journey to the pregnancy. I recall Maddie's toddler years, particularly when my son Justin was born, and Joanne brought Maddie over to see him. Maddie was just 2 years old, and she really wanted to carry the baby. So we plopped her on the couch, put Justin in her lap, and had fun taking photos of the two of them. As Maddie grew up, the Imadas dealt with the typical ups and downs of raising a teenage daughter. The period of Maddie's life, which I recently referred to Joanne as when Maddie was a joyful handful. I remember how much Maddie loved baking cupcakes and how happy I was when Joanne shared some of those delicious treats with me. Then, when Maddie grew up and went away to college at Chapman, how gracious she was to take time out of her busy schedule to meet that baby Justin, who had become a junior in high school, to have lunch at one of her favorite eateries at near Chapman, and to share with him about life at Chapman as he was about to tour the campus, and then to watch her grow into womanhood, meet the love of her life, Tommy, and the relationship that I saw between mother and daughter bloomed into a deep, loving friendship. How blessed I was to have been able to witness such a wonderful thing. Now for Joanne's message that she would like to share with all of you. If anyone was ever fortunate to receive a gift from Maddie, you knew that gift would be a very special gift from the heart. Some of you may know what I'm talking about, right? In the dining hall, you will get to see two of many gifts that Maddie got me. One is a collage that she put together of our family photos, which is made into a puzzle. She wanted me to have fun putting that together and see our family's special moments come alive. Another gift was a series of cards, each envelope carefully decorated and labeled. Open when you need a laugh, you get good news, you're happy, it's a Monday, or you miss me. 16 beautiful cards in all. I share this with you because on the day that Maddie passed, I believe she sent me the most beautiful gift of all. Many of the doctors and nurses at Cedars were very fond of Maddie. She was sweet, funny, welcoming, courageous, and didn't like inconveniencing them. While in the hospital every week, we were assigned a doctor who we could go to for anything. We established a connection with one of these doctors early on at Cedars. He was one of Maddie's first doctors, and he was her last. He called me personally the next morning after Maddie had passed. He told me that he was walking home from the hospital when he got the call that Maddie had passed. At that moment, he looked up at the sky and saw the most incredible sunset he had ever seen, and he thought, that's Maddie's sunset. He took a photo of it and sent it to me. I was sobbing when he told me the story. You see, it was a thing with me, Maddie, and sunsets. Whenever it was that time of day, I would comment to Maddie, "Wow, check out that sunset." And Maddie would usually respond, "Oh, Mom, you and your sunsets." That's when I realized she had sent me that sunset that night, telling me she loved me and not to worry. But that wasn't all. Maddie's gifts continued. In another part of Southern California, that same night, her former boss was looking out at the sky and she saw the most beautiful rainbow. The colors were vibrant against a pink sky. She told me in Los Angeles it's so dry you hardly ever see a rainbow. That had to be Maddie's rainbow. And then in Manhattan, where Kellen's fiance stayed with us on FaceTime throughout that day and night, she looked into the sky and saw not only a beautiful rainbow, but also right next to it, lightning. Two very rare sights in New York City. Maddie continued to share her loving heart, her gift to all of us.
Helen is about to come up, but I just want you to, you're all looking this way, but I'd like you to take a look over there. Those of you
That sounds good. This morning I woke up from a dream where I caught myself mesmerized by the most beautiful sunset. I was in a large grass field, sitting in a popular park, staring at the clouds that were saturated with red, orange, and blue. As I stared at it longer, the tints of color began to move, and black clouds were seen in the distance. The colors that saturated the clouds were not of the sunset, but from a raging fire that was moving across the land. I turned to run, and as I did, I saw the flames coming from multiple directions. My heart was racing, and fear took over as I looked for shelter, but there was no escape. I could feel only dread. I found a hotel where the staff let me in, and I ran into the lobby where large glass windows framed the oncoming fire. I yelled for people to start dousing the building with water by soaking up pillows and blankets and drenching the walls. The flames were easily too large to combat, but I thought at least it would give us a purpose, something to do rather than wait and feel helpless. All of a sudden, while looking out the window, the fire paused, like a deer caught in the headlights. It flickered and flared, but it did not advance. It stood still. Then a giant gust of wind swept in, moving the flame away from the building. Clouds in the sky began to form a drizzle. Firefighters emerged from behind the flames as the fire continued to shrink. Everyone in the hotel stepped outside and walked slowly, still in shock of what happened. This dream reminds me of what I've been feeling this past month. There's been a sense of awe, both awesome and awful. Every sunset and every sunrise holds, holds beauty as well as pain. And that love and creativity and life do not come without sadness, destruction, and loss. Um, to Maddie, I think you remember I used to sleep with a nightlight. For some reason, the darkness of night was something I could not overcome. It was when I was around 8 and you were 3 when we found ourselves in a room and the light suddenly went out. It was hard for us to find our way around, and I held you as you said to me that you were scared. I told you it was going to be okay, even though I was scared too. Uh, that was the first time through our relationship that you showed me I don't have to be afraid of the dark anymore. Throughout your treatment of cancer, you again showed me how to be brave and to confront the darkness. But this time it was through your example. You confronted each step of the way with determination, courage, and resilience, even though I know you were scared too. You were the constellations in the sky that reminded all of us around you which direction to go when we were feeling lost. I feel grateful we were able to share how much we love you as you transition and to be by your side, reminding you you are not alone, and the ones that love you most were there with you too. We were all with you as you were there with us. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think of you, Maddie. Your biggest gift to us is telling us that you love us all before you pass. I will never forget those words that you spoke when you knew it was so hard for you to speak. Sometimes it's painful to hear those words in my memory, but when I close my eyes, breathe, and feel them in my heart, is the most precious gift you could have ever given. Thank you so much. I love you, and I miss you.
There is no darkness that light cannot pierce. When you arrived this evening, you were given a small light. In a moment, with the sound of the singing bowl, I am going to invite us all to turn on our lights. And as we do that, I invite you into a time of silent reflection. If it is your custom, silently release your prayers for Maddie, for this family, for yourselves, as you reflect upon your relationship with Maddie and on this gift of life and how precious it is, no matter how long the length. Our time of silent reflection will end when I sound the singing bowl a second time. But please keep your tea lights lit through the evening. There's plenty hours in this, we're assured. Let this light shine this night for Maddie. Rest eternal grant to Madi, O God, and let light perpetual shine upon her. I invite you to join me in prayer. O God, whose days are without end and whose mercies cannot be numbered, give us courage to entrust Maddie to your eternal care, where sorrow and pain are no more, neither sighing, but life everlasting. Receive her into the arms of your mercy, into the blessed rest of everlasting peace, and into the glorious company of the saints in light. Grant to this family and all of us who mourn the strength to meet the days to come with steadfastness and patience, not sorrowing as those without hope, but in thankful remembrance of the blessings of this life and in a joyful expectation of eternal life with those we love. Surround Neil and Joanne, Helen, Jai, and Tommy with love that surpasses all understanding, that they may not be overwhelmed by their loss, but have confidence in the goodness of this life and the light which no darkness can overcome, not even death. Amen. When you arrive this evening, you are also given a plumeria blossom. Plumeria are not only fragrant and beautiful, but a symbol of aloha, of love and connection. For some, they also symbolize creation and recreation, new life and new beginnings. We invite you this evening to release your plumeria blossom to the ocean by walking to the shore and placing it there, or by placing it here at Maddie's altar. And if the wind takes it down to the ground, we will have a beautiful carpet of plumeria. I think that's where mine went. This was one of Maddie's favorite beaches. Let your love and aloha for her be a presence here in this place that she loved. I invite you to come forward. where the family invites you to please come and enjoy many of Maddie's favorites. It would greatly please Maddie for everyone to stay and continue to celebrate her life. When we enter the banquet hall, you can go ahead and take a seat. Again, please keep your light alive for the night. When you leave, you can say a prayer or give thanks for Maddie and turn it off. And then when you think of Maddie and you want to send thoughts and prayers, go ahead and light that tea light with you whenever and wherever you would like. Let us follow Lauren.